Yo guys, it's your boy Highbury Hit Squad and we're back again with another football video. I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm back again. And today we're going to be talking about why I think Chelsea sacked Champions League winning manager Thomas Tuchel. So on the face of it, it does look like quite an unfair sacking, and to be fair, it is, to be honest, basing on off his form. Sure, his form for his last 50 games wasn't as good as his first 50 games, but that's not to say it was bad. Ultimately it wasn't as good, but not by much. We're talking very small margins at this point. And they've had a great start to the season, but again, at the point of recording this, they've sacked him after 6 games. It's really not long enough to tell whether he's going to, turn it around, especially when he's a Champions League winning manager. I think you deserve a bit more time. But nonetheless, that being said, the form was poorer. The last 50 games, the form was poorer. They had less wins, a lot more goals conceded, and less clean sheets. That's the fact. I'm not sure if that played a part in it. I mean, ultimately, the defensive situation where they're conceding so many more goals compared to the first 50 games, it needed to be addressed, and they had lost a lot of important players, losing Rudiger, but they'd replaced or attempted to replace them with other defenders, etc. But that's the reality of Chelsea's situation. They conceded a lot more goals in Tuchel's last 50 than they did in the first 50. And obviously that resulted in less clean sheets, naturally. Also, the loss of Peter Cech in his role at the club also, I think, began to lead to a breakdown in communication between Tuchel and the new ownership. Because Cech, before that, was really seen as the go-between between Abramovich and the manager. And that relationship seemed to be to work really well. And Tuchel even spoke extensively about Cech, about how important he is to the club, and how he's able to really retain that culture and help keep that culture going through the club within the players that are currently at the club, and players that will join the club, and players through the academy that will be eventually hoping to break into the first team. And in my opinion, the biggest reason why is that the new owners wanted to make an impact and hire their own guy. So as of now, it's looking like Graham Potter will be the Chelsea manager, and I might make a video on what I think about that hire and what Graham Potter's team could be looking like if he was to become Chelsea manager. But it's going to cost Chelsea owners a lot of money to sack Tuchel, to pay out Graham Potter, and then to hire Graham Potter. It's going to cost them a lot of money, but if they've made the decision and that's who they're going with, that's who they're going with. And I hope for Chelsea's sake they can make it work. In terms of Tuchel, ultimately his career's far from over. He's still a fairly young manager. He had a good experience at Dortmund, won trophies at PSG, and won the Champions League with Chelsea. Any other big team would be, crazy to not be at least considering him. In terms of where I think he'll land next, it really does depend. We're still really early on in the season, so we'll see what jobs become available and what teams are interested in him. He's a great manager. He's accomplished a lot in his I wouldn't say short career. He's a fairly experienced manager at this point, but has accomplished a lot nonetheless. I can see him maybe going back to Germany, maybe Spain, but his style is suited for the German game, the English game. Obviously, he won a trophy in France, but I don't see him going back to any team other than PSG. And I don't see PSG taking him back, as he had issues with management there. But I could see another Premier League team taking him up if one of the big 6 teams were to lose their manager. Doesn't look like it at the moment, but football's, as much as it's a results business, is what have you done for me lately business as well. So we'll see where Thomas Tuchel lands, but it'll be very interesting to see, because he's a quality manager and, in my opinion, was unfairly sacked. But the numbers don't lie. He wasn't as good in his last 50 as he was in his first 50. But do you deserve to lose your job for that, especially when it's so early in the season and you've won the Champions League? I think you do deserve that bit more slack, but it's not my club and I don't pay the bills, so we'll see what Chelsea do next. I hope Graham Potter can do a great job there, and hopefully he can bring them success and improve the style of football they're playing, and maybe even attract some new players. Obviously Chelsea spent so much money in the window, so it does feel a bit redundant to spend all this money on players and they're not really even giving the manager a chance to really gel in with them. I don't think 6 games is enough. To be honest, I don't even think 10 games is enough, but people say normally after 10 games you get whereabouts you are, but I still think that's way too short, especially when you've got new owners that are coming in claiming they want to change the culture, want to rebuild the club. You've got a Champions League winning manager right there. He can be that fundamental building piece to build around, but they decided against it, and I can't knock them. It's their club, their money, And I'm not a Chelsea fan, so I'm not got that much of invested interest. But I did think it was really interesting to see why they sacked him and who they go with next. So that's it. It's been me, your boy Highbury Hit Squad. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like. If you don't want to miss out any more videos like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you think your friends would like a video like this, make sure to share it with them. Alright, it's been Highbury Hit Squad. I'm out. Peace.